morning.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. Welcome back. We have our second installment of our conversation with Ben and with Fairway Mortgage. We appreciate you taking some time. We just have a couple of questions. A lot of times when people are closing on their loan, they have to bring money to the table. And Stephanie wants to be in on the conversation. Stephanie, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I mean, how much money can you bring to the table if you already established your down payment, or can you bring more?
You can bring more to the table. It reduces your payment. A lot of times, a good rule of thumb with whatever you bring to the table is it reduces your payment. You times it by whatever the interest rate is. So $1,000 per times 0.7, 0.07, it's like $7 or so. It reduces your payment for every $1,000 you bring to the table. It's a good rule of thumb. So with interest rates the way they are, you know, they're fluctuating. So it just depends on. So the more you bring to the table, the less your payment's going to be. But at the same time, what you need to bring to the table for FHA loans is 3.5%. And for conventional loans, it's 5%. You can get those. Well, how do we come up with that type of money? A lot of times people are very frustrated because it's like, well, I can't come up with 3.5%, you know? So $100,000 loan, it's $3,500 that you have to come to the table with, or $5,000.
Especially first-time homeowners.
Yeah, where do you find that money? Yeah, and there are really great programs that are available that I just have one going through this month, and they were able to get them in Utah Housing, it's called, and that's down payment assistance, that you can actually fund that down payment into your loan, and it's a really great program. It does have credit restrictions. You need to have a 620 credit score or above, and it gives you up to 6% of your closing costs. So it covers the 3.5%. And then another 2.5% for closing costs and things like that, and like title fees and other things that go into the fees for getting a loan. And so, each situation is really unique, and so you really need to talk to a mortgage professional about their specific situations and what those are. But there's lots of options when it comes to home buying for people for little or no down to get into a home, and that's a great thing, I think, to help people out and yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of times our first-time homeowners are afraid to even put in an offer because they're not aware that these options are available to them.
Yeah, a lot of people think you have to put 20% down, you got to save up a bunch of money, and in ideal situations when you're maybe selling your home and have a lot of equity, that is a good situation you can get into, but that's not always the case for everybody. And so first-time home buyers, there's lots of options available, and that's there's lots of great programs. So
So what if the parents want to assist with the down payment? What's the best way to do that?
So if you don't qualify for that program, let's say you're not, whatever programs there is, and there are other options, like if you can get from a family member or an employer down payment, they can gift you that money. They do have to fill out a form that says that they're not expecting that money in return, but at the same time, it can come from a gift, and that's a great option for a lot of different people too, with regards to if they don't have enough money for a down, or if they want to put more money down and maybe avoid some mortgage insurance, which is a separate subject, but at the same time, it's an additional payment on your mortgage that once you put 20% down, you don't have to pay.
Hey, who's considered a family member? Like, could a cousin, uncle? How
uncle,
close?
Any type of close family member, grandparents, parents, siblings, uncle, those type of people. Any family member, and then also spouse, significant other. Obviously that works.
That's interesting.
And then an employer, so that's something that not many people know, that an employer can ask your employer for a gift, and that also works.
And this is going to sound like a random question, but if you're self-employed and you do a lot of freelance work, could any of those clients be considered an employer?
It's
like you're hired as a buyer.
That's a stretch. I don't think that works. Okay. But at the same time, I would have to get back to you on that. I'll get back to you on that because I'm not completely sure about that, but I don't think that's the case. I'm sorry.
Because I know, like right now, people are doing a lot of contract work, a lot
Right.
of gigs, and so that might be a question people have that we
Yeah,
haven't thought
absolutely.
about.
It's a valid question.
Yeah.
I really think, but I don't think that, my gut tells me that.
Probably not.
Probably not. That seems like a little bit of a stretch because then you could say any random person off the street could be an employer, and that's.
Hey,
But
as long as they don't expect to get paid back. Right?
Yeah. And the thing is like, that's the greatest thing about my job is just trying to figure out unique situations, unique problems, and trying to find solutions for people to help them get into a home. And that's what's awesome about this. It's not. There are a lot of rules, but at the same time, we're going to work hard to try to get you get into a home that you can afford and that you can, but also that you can get into with as little pain as possible.
How can they get hold of you, Ben?
Oh well, they can call me on my number for 407. I think sometimes we put it up above on the screen, but at the same time, yeah, they can call me whenever. I'm available in the evenings, weekends. I try to make myself available for my clients whenever. I do home visits, so I like to actually educate people as long as they're in Utah somewhere. I have a hard time flying to Florida every so often. But at the same time, Zoom calls, other things. I really love to be available for my clients and available for my friends and people because I consider them my friends after we do transactions because I just get close to the people. I'm somewhat attached to my.
Well, we know people love you when they work with you, so thank you so much and thank you for your time. Sebastian, do you have any questions?
No, that's all. Thank you for answering all our
First,
questions.
before you go, let's have you talk about the home buyer class, when it is, and
Yeah, we're having the first time home buyer class on the 15th, which is we actually have it every third Wednesday here in the office.
Okay.
And we go over just all the different things, all the different questions, and allow you to answer questions. It's a free class, and it's every third Wednesday from 7 to 8:30 here at the Realty One office. And I just love to have people there just to find out that their concerns about different things, credit.
And everybody has different questions.
They really do.
Can anticipate. Because everyone comes with a different question.
We really do, and sometimes they run a little bit over. We try to keep it to an hour and a half, but at the same time we stay after for questions, and sometimes I get out of here at 10 o'clock, just because I enjoy it. I really do. Like, they have specific questions, and they just like, what about this situation, and there's not a one size fits all for everybody, because everybody's financial situation is so different, and it just is that.
So do you call it the home buyer class, or is it the first time home buyer class?
It can be, we call it the home buyer class, but at the same time, because we don't want to limit it just to first time home buyers, so people that, they sometimes go through this one or two times in their life, and we do it every day. And so, helping people get through that, the stigma and the false conceptions on things, and helping people understand the process of home ownership and what goes through it is really a joy of my job, because I'm a numbers guy. But
you're awesome. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, give us a call. Steph and Samantha team.
Bye.
Bye.